Thanks everybody for joining us this morning, night, whatever time it is for you. Just a couple reminders for these type of webinars. I will be muting everybody. Questions into the chat window for the end, where we will be answering and going over any of the questions you might have throughout. I am so glad that everyone could join us. We're very excited about this. I am Shannon. I do the marketing for the GoDaddy Reseller product. And I'm happy to announce Chelsea is also with us, and she'll be taking us through this announcement today. So welcome, Chelsea. Thanks so much, and I'll give it over to you.
All right, sounds good. Well, thanks so much, Shannon, and good morning or good evening, wherever you are. I'm going to be going through a demo, but to kind of do an introduction, something that we have been told several times over the last several years is that we need a better customer management kind of way that everybody can help their customers, support and manage their products, things like that. So what we're doing today is we're going to be showing you our new delegation feature that is going to be rolling out tomorrow. So what I'm showing you here is this first screen that I'm going to be going over is going to show the customer lookup report. This first page is something that has been around for a while, and this next page here is one that has been updated in the last couple months. And what you'll notice that's different on my screen than your screen is I have a button called Login as Client. And when I click that, it'll bring me right into my customer's account, and I will be able to manage their products for them. In this particular, whoops, of course this would happen. It's not a demo unless something shows up weird. But when I'm in here, you can see that I'm logged in as what my customer name is Deli for delegation testing. But I can go into any of these products and make changes, do whatever I need to do so I can support my customers and do what I need to get done. Now with this particular customer, I actually have access to shop on their behalf as well. So I can go in and buy more products for them. And to let you know how the process goes to set up this delegation relationship. First, when a customer is signing up as a customer starting tomorrow, when they sign up, you will get automatic manage access to their accounts, which means you can go in and make changes to any of their products that are here that they purchase. So you're going to be able to go in and support these customers if they call you about DNS changes, or if they're asking you, hey, this looks weird and I don't know where to click next, that you can go in and see what changes they've made to maybe their website builder or whatever, so you can better support them. And again, that'll automatically happen when they start with your program. So while I go through this, I do want to say if there's any questions or anything as I go through, to go ahead and post them in that chat window. So when we are going through this, I'm going to also show the customer's view over here. So for a customer, when they first sign up and when they get that new account with you and they just made a purchase, they're going to get an email that explains, hey, welcome my reseller account here called Prestige Worldwide. It goes, hey, welcome to Prestige Worldwide. We do have access to your account. This is so we can better support you. If you have any questions or if you're not comfortable with this, you can change it at any time. And I can go to this delegate access page, which of course it's going to ask me to sign in again. Sorry. I just need to go back to the Reseller Control Center so I can get my customer number again. So,
Hey, Chelsea.
yeah.
We do have one question in the chat window. Will we be able to view the options for each product? As of now, when delegation and managed level, you still can't access options, which tells you about the renewal length, cost, upgrade, info, etc.
So the options is part of shopping access. So, or let's see here. Of course, I don't have anything actually set up. So, oops. Let me get back. I will get one of these set up and I can double check, but it should work if you have shopping access. But I will have to double check that after I have like a hosting account set up. I'm sorry.
Okay, great.
So for the customer, where they can go to manage the access is on the page in my account. And there's a card that will always be here, and it'll be the name of your reseller. And it'll just be that company name, access, and they can edit it. And they will be able to say no access, revoke everything, or if they just want you to have limited access, which is manage products, and full access is set up and purchase and manage products. So that's the purchase one. So they can go in and change that as much as they want. When they make a change, they get an email as well as you. So you will get an email as well. So when I go back to this page that has like the customer information, notice that now that my customer has changed this to limited access, I come here, I can request access, and I can request purchase access. This will send an email to the customer asking for that. And the difference with the shopper-to-shopper access that was launched before and this is there is no timeout, because when they go to that delegate access page, it always says Prestige Worldwide Access, and they can always control it here. So it's just kind of a reminder to them of like, hey, I would like access to your account so I can support you. You can go here to set up this access. Now, this whole time we've been talking about your customers that are new customers. That's when you get automatic access. So when we're taking a look at perhaps a past customer, there isn't going to be, we're not going to retroactively go through and grant you access to those accounts, because that is kind of a weird flow for a customer to have. So if we go into one of my old accounts, what will show up is it will only have the request access button, and that I can request access to manage products or manage and purchase products. Again, this will send an email to the customers, or to the single customer account that you want access to, and then when they do accept it or change your access level, you will get an email. So let's see, I think, one last thing actually before I turn over is that when you are going to be using the delegation tool through the RCC, you do need to have two-factor authentication enabled on your account. The reason for that is obviously for security purposes, but basically if your account is hacked or something, it would make all of your customer accounts also basically hacked, that they would be able to access any account that you have access to. So we have two-factor authentication, which would send you like a text message or an email with a code that you enter in whenever you're signing into your account. So I believe that is kind of everything here at the surface. Do we have any questions?
I don't see any other additional questions. So just an overview. Will you give us what this flexibility will allow resellers now, and why this is a great benefit for them? And could you give us just an overview of that?
Yeah, so what you're going to be able to use this for is if you offer any additional services beyond just products, you'll be able to go in and set up that website. You're going to be able to build it out. If your customers are calling you for support, You'll actually be able to see the products that they have. You'll actually be able to go in and make changes if maybe they're getting frustrated trying to add an image or replace an image on their site, that they could email it to you and you can go in and do this and do that for them instead of you having to say, yeah, you can call support and have one of our agents try to walk them through it or something. It really gives you control over your customer's experience and how you want to handle support with them.
Great. There again, we're open up for questions right now. Oh, I have one on two-factor auth. Does two-factor authentication require the whole GoDaddy account, or is two-factor auth available reseller control panel only?
It is for the whole GoDaddy account only. So it's required when you log in. It doesn't matter if you go only to Reseller Control Center or if you're going into Domain Control Center anywhere else. You need to have two-factor auth on the whole.
Now,
if I could actually add to that, this is Amy Tenza, one of the software architects on the team. You can actually, when you're in your My Account settings, setting up the second factor, you can actually choose on demand, and that will actually allow you to log in and do regular actions without your second factor, and then you will only be asked for that second factor for high risk areas, such as this logging in as your client and other higher risk areas.
Who's checking out Annotate?
Yeah.
And as a call out there, Amy is actually the architect that designed out our delegation. So if you're excited about this, it's Amy that you should be thanking, that she's the one that made this happen.
Awesome. Amy, I do have a follow-up question. Do they need to go in, if they already have it set up and turned on for high-risk transactions only, do they have to go in and change it to every login, or how does that work?
Nope, they're all set. They will just keep it as is, and they will only be asked for that second factor when they log in as their client.
Great. Is there anything else that you want to add on the whole author or the two-step, or anything else that we need to be aware of?
No, I think that's good. We're just really excited.
Yeah, absolutely. There is another question. Wondering if you have to change it to, oh, never mind. You already read that. I read that differently in my head.
Yep. Do resellers have access to customer cPanel?
It's the account that you can access, like their account that's set up with their account with you. So yes, it should go through automatically to their regular admin access on cPanel.
Great. So to answer the question, it says yes, that it should go through to cPanel. Great. Keep the questions coming. If you have anything else, we're very excited. And here's your opportunity to ask any questions you want. We have Chelsea on here and Amy, the software architect. So any other questions, happy to answer them right now. As a reminder, this will be recorded and we'll be able to share out. We're very excited about this feature, just another great product advancement that we have launched this year, something really big for the end of the year. The team is very excited to get this out to you guys.
Okay. So this is definitely one of those things that have been asked for many times over the last several years. So we're really excited to get it out the door so that people can start using it. One last thing that I was going to mention is if you want to call support with questions for your customer, so it's you calling support, not your end customer. When you do that, you'd call support with your account number and you'd pin it, like you'd give them the pin for your account, and they're going to be accessing your customer's account the same way you do through the RCC. So you don't need to have the PIN number for your customer's account when you call in. They'll be able to have the same access you have through the RCC to see what you see. And if you're needing them to do something more like that's beyond your regular access levels, what you'll need to do is you'll need to have that PIN number. So if it's something that you're seeing though for your customer, then you can just call in with your account with your PIN number.
We have some other questions. Will this be available only for upcoming customers? In such case, if a customer hasn't bought anything yet and purchased after this, then do they not have the same access, or how do they grandfather in customers that have previously purchased?
So new customers that join your program and set up an account, when they create the account, you will get manage access to their products. That's for new customers. For existing customers, you will not have access to the account automatically. You will have to go through and request access. And I can bring that up again here. That it'll send them an email, so it won't be automatic, but you can send them an email requesting either shopping access or manage access. So this is what your previous customers, any customers that join your program earlier than tomorrow, you will see this screen with this option to request access. It'll trigger an email to them saying that they need to go to this screen and edit the access and grant you either manage or full access.
Great, I have another question. Let's go down the long list of questions. Okay, is there a way to preview or possibly customize the email our customers will receive when we request access?
There isn't a way for you to edit it, but what I can do is after we demo this, I can take screenshot of the email that's going to be sent to your customers, and I'll post them on the Google Plus community so you can take a look at those so you know what the customer is going to be receiving and what they're going to be seeing.
Okay.
It is a very generic email and saying this is so we can help support you and preemptively work on any issues that may arise, is kind of the byline that we put on there.
Great. I have some more questions. Like in GoDaddy Pro, can a reseller add products to a customer's cart by logging into his account or send them the filled cart so that they can go ahead and purchase on their behalf?
So GoDaddy Pro is a little bit different, that they have shared shopping, and that's how they email a cart to a customer. However, if you have shopping access to an account, you would be able to fill their cart. And then you can tell them, hey, log in. I put the products that you need to purchase in there if you want to review. But if you have shopping access, you would be able to check out on their behalf as well.
Okay, great. So one of the questions, and it was kind of a long question, so I'll paraphrase. Is there logged in activity captured somewhere so that if something gets purchased or something goes wrong, they'll be able to point to, whether it was a customer's mistake or the resellers, or is there some way to log that?
So there is going to be like these orders that you can see when the orders go through. However, we don't have a way to show you the log. Amy, correct me if I'm wrong, that's internally stored?
It is. We internally, we do store that information. So if you needed assistance with that, you could call customer support and they would have access to that information, or they could escalate it to the teams who do. But we don't have that available for you to see directly.
So basically, if there is something like that that arises, let our agents know and we'll be able to investigate on our side.
Mm-hmm. Great. I have some more questions. For super resellers, do they have access to their sub-resellers control panel?
So you do, but you will not be able to access their customers' accounts. So you won't have access to your subs customers that they have access to. Hopefully that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So what we're saying is that you'll have access to your sub resellers control panel, but anything past that into the customer level, you will not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. By adding products to customers' carts, actually put the products in only their account's cart, as now it just goes into cart.secure.net and any of my customers can see that cart. It's very confusing for everybody.
When you're logged in as the client, when you put it in their cart, it'll be their cart only. It won't be anybody else's.
Great.
So, but to clarify, because what I'm worried about is the cart.secureserver.net makes me think that perhaps you are sending them to the cart, which they will only be able to see that cart if they log into their account. We don't have the functionality in place yet to do the send a cart to someone, though that has been feedback, and it's something that we do want to have in the future. That ability to do shared shopping, like create a cart for perhaps a new customer and email the cart to them individually. So they don't even have to have a cart yet or an account yet. You can just send them a email that has that cart all lined up. So that's something for the future.
Great. Will this come with the ability to change how my customers look at them? If a customer in my delegation list that are shown as first name, others as first plus last name, and others as email only, will this index or change the way that it's stored?
So I know what you're meaning, and I'm sorry I don't have one of my accounts have multiple products like shopper to shopper access. So I know exactly what you mean, because while we were looking at this, basically what we're talking about here is if you had shopper to shopper access, it's a list that shows up here that say accounts I can access, and the name that you put on the account, that if you put it their name, it'll be just their first name or just their email address. That it's really confusing to maintain, and that's why we decided to have our own separate card. So the way that you are going to be able to manage them is through this customer lookup report. So it'll have the customer number, the name, and the email address that you can reference them by to make sure that you are accessing the account that you actually want to access.
Great.
And if, for an example, here on my test account, that I have how many Chelsea freezes in here from all like my different accounts that you can even see. All right, I have a couple that have 0 orders, a couple that have 4 orders. Things like that can also help you kind of understand what the background is on a customer that you're accessing their account. If you know for sure that they have products that they're asking you to access, if there's another one with their same information, you know it's not the one with 0 orders. All right, any other questions?
Great. I don't have any other. Oh, let me see. Will that be changing in the future?
Do you mean, and I'm sorry,
Will
I have
that be
to ask,
yeah.
do you mean like the access that you had shopper to shopper be changing to the access in the RCC?
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that he can respond here, because it's going to be here in the RCC. I don't have any plans on changing that to be in your account like this. And any accounts that you have access to, like shopper to shopper access, it does not translate to the RCC access as that you have as a reseller going into your customers' accounts. So from for this stuff going forward, you're going to want to operate out of the RCC. If you did set up shopper-to-shopper access, I would suggest having it set up through the RCC. Send them that email that they can update it in their delegate access page. So hopefully that's what you're asking.
If not, just confirm within the chat. And now's the time to ask any other questions. We have both of the architect and Chelsea on, so don't be shy if you have anything you want to
Absolutely. And same thing if you guys have any questions about our new storefront as well. Since we are on, if you have questions there that we haven't already answered in our user voice feedback or anything like that, go ahead and post those as well. I know that's been another recent development. So
here's one. Under orders of each customer, can you remove inactive products from the renewal? They still show oncoming renewal report.
So in this, in the orders, it shows what was in that order. So there is no upcoming on this. It's just going to show like what the current orders are. The renewal report itself, we have plans to kind of make that actually work and get that all fixed up and everything. But there isn't a way for you to change what is going to be on like the upcoming, or I suppose with this one now I only have, I was going to show this. All right. So actually that's probably a good thing that now you can see that, how that works. But in here you'd be able to see the different products. But now remember, I only have product access. So when I'm going to the account settings, it's going to say that I don't have access to this right now. But if you had shopper access, I believe you should be able to go to the renewal page and change things that have auto renewal. Amy, let me know if you have a different understanding there. But I can verify that though. That I'll update my access again.
Here's a good question, and I think this is good knowledge for everybody. What is the best way to report problems or let us know about issues with the new storefront, broken links, etc.?
So user voice is going to be the best way to report those. In the category that there's one for the new storefront, that'll be the best way that you can post it there. There were a few in there that we hadn't approved, and that was just team getting used to how we have to approve it and everything there. So if you've seen a lapse in responses there, sorry about that. It is going to be better that we're going to be checking that constantly throughout the week. So that's where the best place is to give us any feedback and report issues if you're just wanting to send them over. Otherwise, support is always going to be the best option. It creates a ticket for us that we need to resolve immediately.
And can you explain what is user voice and how to access it?
Yeah, so user voice is the way that GoDaddy collects feedback from our customers. It's a tool used by the full company. So let's see if I can remember what the, see there, GoDaddy.user voice. Okay, so GoDaddy.uservoice.com, and then over here there's reseller, and you can see all of the different issues that people have reported. Something to call out is if you see something that you want, like that you feel is important for you as well, click vote. because the more votes something has, more that we're knowing, hey, this is an issue for more than just one person or just a handful of people, so that I can pursue that with other teams as I need to, and saying, hey, this is a wanted functionality by a lot of people, and knowing that this is affecting a lot of our resellers, a lot of our partners.
Great, and we have another question about the two-factor auth. If a customer enables this on their account, then in such case, the process will be same or not? Do I need to say customer to disable two-factor auth of his account?
Hey, I can take that.
Okay.
So if your customer enables second factor auth, that actually doesn't affect your process for this delegation feature in any way. They can keep it enabled. If they don't have it enabled, they don't need to enable it, although we always encourage it. It is not at all related to this feature. So you will need to have it in order to access their accounts, but they do not need to have it. It does not affect it.
Great, thank you. And I just want to reiterate what Chelsea mentioned about the user voice is that, you know, in the past, there may have been some lapse in time for responses, but as she mentioned, we have a new process in place, so those will be addressed. Those will be addressed more timely. I'm just going to put on mute. So we have another question. How does the new interface help with upcoming renewals? Meaning, will I be able to see the domain extensions only or actual product names and products associated with it?
So you'll be able to see this. You'll be able to see all of the different products that they have, just like you would in your own account under your reseller, that you'd be able to see all the same information, the domains, what products they have coming up here. Normally when it's coming up for renewal, a little ad will be here saying like this product is expiring as of this date. And if you have full shopping access to the account, you'd also be able to look at, like go into the account, see the renewal screen, and you'd see everything that's coming up for renewal.
Great.
For the next question, all right, so the 8857 number, it should no longer be rolling over to hosting support at all. That is a change that happened as of November 20th, that we have a dedicated team to handle reseller owner calls. So if you're wanting to talk to agents that handle reseller calls specifically, they're at 8857 number. If they are all busy, those calls are rolling over only to general reseller agents. So we have, and that line is manned now 24/7. And again, that we have specific agents that are for reseller owners only. And if they're busy, it goes to reseller agents only. So you shouldn't be getting general hosting support if you call that number at all anymore. And that's a change that was implemented as of November 20th. So you shouldn't have that issue anymore.
And is that that's for the US based or for global?
Yeah, that is the US based phone number, that 480-505-8857.
Great. And just to reiterate, we do welcome all of these user voice type of problem features, issues. So nothing is too complex for us to look into. So we're
Yep.
happy to take the call as well if user voice is not.
And yeah, and again, that user voice, I would say, you know, to modify what I was kind of saying before, is maybe use user voice more as a feature, and use support more as a, hey, if this isn't working right, because with support, they escalate it over to us, and that we jump on it, we're aware of it very quickly. with user voice, if there's questions or any more information that we need, it takes a while to get that information in order to actually escalate it as an issue. So, so I'd say issues, go with calling support. If you're looking for features and stuff, that's user voice is the best place for that.
Great. So just to reiterate, this will be available online as well. Super excited about this. The team has worked very hard on getting this out. I think this opens up a whole new kind of way to run your business and manage your business. As with anything, and Chelsea, I think you can divulge into this a little bit, but as with anything, with the new rollout of new feature rollout, please don't hesitate to share your feedbacks and as Chelsea said, specific issues, if there's anything not working properly for your scenario, love to hear those. We did have one question about the mobile storefront. Is there any update? There was a question about an upcoming webinar about that. We actually did host a mobile storefront webinar prior, and it's available on the GoDaddy YouTube channel or the reseller YouTube channel, and it's in the Google Plus. I can share that out as well. I don't think we have another one planned at this current time.
Yeah, we don't have like Shannon said, another webinar planned, but the team is actively working on developing kind of new functionality in that mobile storefront. The storefront that is launched, it is going to be the desktop version as well. So we're working towards putting on more of the pages so that they are on like the new storefront, things like legal pages, something like that we obviously need in order for for your customers to view that on their desktop version as their regular storefront rather than the current one. We're also working on the last products for like the plugin, like VPS, dedicated server. Those ones are still on the docket. We needed a purchase path, which is with like another team. So there's a lot of teams that are working on it, but our dev team specifically have been doing a great job in developing new pages and bringing those out. You should be seeing them as they roll out. But as we have more and more pages, more and more features, we will be doing another webinar to give you guys the latest. But I'd expect that's probably going to be after the holidays and the new year.
Great. Related to that, as a super reseller customer has access, do they have access to the reseller plugin, or they get the generic storefront only?
So the super reseller storefront is still that is still the old storefront. We are hoping to change that, and that you'd have access to build your own storefront, but we have very few super resellers, so that's why it's a little bit down the list from building a storefront for all resellers. That it is something that we want to do, just haven't been able to get to it at this time. And Harsh, for priority on the domain search result, yes. Simple answer, yes. We've been working with that team, and they're going to be updating to what we have for the new storefront very soon.
Great. I don't see any more questions. Oh, one more. Any update to reseller cancel? Mm-hmm.
So with this, I've been working with the other product teams on developing any kind of timeline on what we want to do to make sure that we get your feedback to the right people. So basically, I don't want to set up a council about hosting products for resellers and like your customers with just me. It's not as useful if you're just telling me that then I'm communicating it to then the teams, I want those teams in there as well to hear and address questions and issues that you might have. So I'm working on getting with them, but a lot of those teams actually have launches that are coming up very soon. So I'd expect that we aren't going to be having those reseller councils specifically around like the hosting products until Q1. And that's kind of the earliest that we're probably going to be able to get that set up. Cool. All right. Anything else?
All right. There again, this will be shared out. We will be interacting this week with you guys on Google Plus as this gets rolled out. Again, Chelsea, when does this become live? Tell us.
Okay, so tomorrow afternoon is going, and that is Arizona time, that you are going to see all of this roll out. Right now, we just have it as we have been rolling things out with each of the teams. So starting in the morning, your customers are getting the email saying that that you have access, that you'll be seeing those emails and everything come in. And then it'll be in the afternoon that you'll be able to go to the RCC and log in as the customer. So this is going to be a little bit of a slow rollout. So it's just going to be a couple hours in between. So that way we can test things, make sure everything is going smoothly and everything is acting the way we expect it to act. And then we'll be able to, you'll be able to see everything again afternoon tomorrow. So I'd say for sure by maybe 1 o'clock Arizona time.
Great. We're so excited. There was one last question that came in on, are we looking forward to improve customer service for customers of resellers? I mean, absolutely. Chelsea, if you have any more to add to that.
So, yes. So a bit, there was basically an experiment to have reseller calls roll over to the hosting queue. That was brought up earlier in the chat. And we are working on removing that and keeping reseller calls and reseller customer calls within the reseller agents. That they're more familiar, they know how to handle the calls, they know not to say GoDaddy, they know kind of, they're familiar with the types of calls that we get from our reseller, from our customers of a reseller. So we are absolutely looking at ways to improve that support service level.
Great. If I want to help my customer rep on behalf of my customer, which number should I call? The U.S. team or a local country team?
So there's the phone numbers that you can call that are your support numbers that that you can call that, and you may get a support agent. Right now, we only have the 505-8857 number that is for U.S. reseller owner support. We are hoping though to expand that, but it isn't something that is going to be imminent. So I'd say that 505-8857 number is the best bet.
Great. All right. So any other questions? I see something about the GoDaddy logo. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This email was created by us for resellers. So I don't actually even believe that there is a GoDaddy version of the email at all. Mm-hmm. So it should never say GoDaddy in there at all. We have reviewed that email several times. So since this was created by us, and for only us, it should not have GoDaddy in any of the emails besides the emails that perhaps trigger to you. If you have an account with GoDaddy, it'll say, hey, a customer has updated their account, and it may mention that your account with GoDaddy, or it might link to where you can sign in, but to your customer it will not.
Yep. Great.
And Benny, yes, the security products, we are aware of that, and I have that team looking into it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So.
All right. So pertaining to this specific one.
Oh, and sorry. Thank you, Rakesh, for posting that. Good call out that Rakesh corrected me that there is actually reseller direct support in India. There is a direct phone number.
Yep, and that's posted into the chat window as well. So for this specific webinar announcement, I'm going to hold additional questions. Really thankful for the team to join us. We're very excited about this. We can spread the word now. You guys all are in and know the secret now. So feel free to share that out and help us get the excitement out through our communities. You're going to be seeing a lot coming on this as we fully roll out, and really want you guys to test it and tell us how much you enjoy it and look at use cases and really help grow this. Anything else you'd like to add, Chelsea or Amy?
No, I think I'm all talked out, and I'm sure everybody else is hearing from me. So, like Shannon said, I'm really excited. This is something that's been in development for a really long time. It has a lot of hours into it, and I think it really bridges a much needed gap that was in our system. So, really excited to see what resellers can make happen with their businesses with this kind of functionality.
Great. All right, so thank you so much for joining us. As mentioned, I will be posting this online in the community. You'll be seeing a lot more about this coming through our channels within the RCC. And as always, please continue to provide us feedback through our channels, the user voice, and specific product support as well. So I think that's it. We'll let you guys go, and thank you for joining us.
All right. Thanks so much. Bye.